find yourself fragmenting or splintering because there's just so much parts to look after? And how do you make sure you stay whole as you do this work?
I think sometimes we get very caught up in the doing, and there's just so much to do. It's never-ending things to do. And that is when it's easy to fall into the trap of you keep doing and you keep doing and you don't stop, you don't pause.
Yeah.
And when you don't stop and you don't pause, you don't have the time to do that reflection, to have that conversation, to process what's going on.
I'm going to go back to Adam Cahane's whole power and love thing, right? That he describes like power as, it's just like our self wanting to actualize, wanting to go out and do things in the world, and we're going to do it with increasing intensity as well as extensity, right? And that's the doing that I'm hearing you describe. Like it is an act of power to like, there's so many things to do and they're meaningful, good, purposeful things to do. But as you do, and you're trying to do all these parts that we need to play in the world, it does lead to more fragmentation and separation. And the only thing that can bring us back home is like to allow ourselves to be loved, where there are people who care about uniting our separate parts, right?
Yeah.
And if we love ourselves, we would want to unite our separate parts. And it only happens by slowing down, reflecting, pausing, allowing yourself to be united with people.
I think this is exactly why it's important, because there is so much about power going on here.
Yes.
And it's very dangerous if we don't stop to think about what kind of power we want and how do we exercise that power.
Yeah.
But more importantly, who is that power for and what's it going to be used for?
Yeah.
Right? It's easy to get lost in all the doing, and then suddenly you are a million miles away from where you initially wanted to be.
Yes, because it's like coming back into like, who am I doing this for?
Yeah. So it has to be anchored in people and relationship. I think at the start of our conversation, you talked about how this line of work is so-called, very high price and thankless and costly. And a lot of times we hear people talk about this, whether it's about me or my team and the people that we do the work. And I think it's very kind of them to say that, and also to acknowledge that, of course, there's a price and there's a sacrifice that comes with the work. But there are also a few things that I think I want to say about this, right? I think one thing is that I think everyone who wishes to do good work pays a high price for it. I accept these trade-offs because I'm able to, because of my privilege.
If you have a greater margin of safety, you can bear more risks.
Right.
And that's how I hear how to translate this privilege thing, which can sometimes trigger people like, oh man, let's not talk about privilege. But I see it as, if wherever you are in society, if you have been blessed with that greater margin of safety, you can literally afford more risk. And why not invest, in something which is a little bit more risky? And that's what I'm hearing, your call to arms, for those who have more. And the other thing that long-term investing thinkers say, which translates so well to this, is, they think like if you want to figure out what is worth investing in for the long term, you must always focus first on the value. Don't focus first on the price.